Hello and welcome to AutoCAD. So in this video, I have brought you a very quick tutorial on AutoCAD 2D. So here we are going to see a very quick kickstart on how to just let's get started with the sketching in the AutoCAD 2D. So for that, I'm going to see the introduction part first. But before going on to the video, make sure that you have subscribed to this channel, because if you're going to subscribe it, you can get more updates like this regularly. So let's just see the introduction part first. So here I'm going to just give you a tour of the interface of AutoCAD 2D and how the 2D interface of AutoCAD looks like and what are the tools that we are going to cover in this whole lecture. So once you are going to click on the AutoCAD icon that is present on the desktop, you are going to be lined up inside this page. So this is the introductory page of an AutoCAD, and here you can see that this is the get started section. So if you want to create a new file right from the scratch, you have to click on this section over here. But if you are working on any recent document and if you want to rework on it again, so you can just click on this recent document option. Here you will get the list of recent documents that you are working with, and then you will see that there is a notification section, and this is a sign in section. If you are if you're using a genuine version of AutoCAD, then you can just sign into their console, and here you can get a lot of helps regarding the AutoCADs. And there's a notification that will going to give you some quick updates and some tips for the working of tools and all. But let's just get started with it. So for that, you just have to click on this get started, since we have to work on the new interface on new file. So I'm going to click on this get started option, and once I clicked on this get started option, we are going to land up inside the interface of AutoCAD. So here you can see that this is how the interface will going to look like. The first thing that you have to do is to just check out that whether you are in the 3D modeling interface or you are in the 2D drafting. So the best way is to just click on this option over here. So this downward toolbar is known as the status bar, and in that you will find that there is a gear kind of icon. Just click on that, and over here you can see that the workbenches will going to be available. So right now it's drafting and annotation that is tick mark. It means that we are inside the 2D drafting. But if you want to do a 3D modeling or 3D basics, then you can just click on to these workbenches. But since we have to work in the 2D, so we are going to click on this, and we are already inside the 2D drafting. Now let's just see some of the toolbars over here. So the first one over here on the top is known as the quick access toolbar. So from here you can see that you can get some of the very familiar things that you usually get in any software, like new, open, save, import, and also these are the things that is available. Then we have the menu bar on the top menu bar, and here you can get the tools that is arranged in the listed form. So these are the tools that is arranged in the listed forms. Like if you want to use the 3D tools, you can see that these are listed over here. And then you will get our ribbons. So over here you will find that there are tools that is being in the graphical forms. So here you can see that these are the drawing toolbars with the help of which you can draw any shapes. Then we have the modification toolbar with the help of which you can just modify anything. Then we have the annotation toolbar with the help of which you can just annotate or represent the text, tables, symbols and all. Then after we have some advanced features in AutoCAD, and they are the layers, blocks, properties, and also these are the things that is included. Over here, this is the canvas on which you have to work, and here you have to see the graphics of whatever operations that you perform. There over here in the downward bureau is known as the command box. So this is the command box over here, and this will going to guide you in basically working with the tools. And then we have the downward toolbar, or you can say that which is the status bar, and this will going to help you in just getting some of the important things that you should make sure that it is ticked or unticked during the designs. Then we have the title bar that includes the title of the software as well as the title of the file that you're working with. So these are all related to the setup. Over here, this is the compass that is being used when you are working with many architectural designs or a 3D modeling design. So these are the things over here. And this is the thing that is basically represent the in which view you are. So make sure that if you are going to click on that, you will see that the list will going to open. Make sure that you are in the top and you are in the 2D wireframe. If you are working with any other views visualization over here, that will be for the 3D, but for the 2D, make sure that you are inside these two. So this is all about the interface. In the next lecture onwards, we are going to see the first tool, that is the lines, and how to just set up the units. So that's all for this lecture, and I'm going to catch up you in the next one. So in this lecture, we are going to see how we can just set up the unit in AutoCAD, since unit setup is very important. And before get started with the diagram or the project that you are working with, you have to set the unit first. And over here, we are also going to see our first tool, that is the line command. So let's just get started. So for that, I'm going to start my AutoCAD, and you can see that in the previous lecture or in the introduction part, we have discussed about the interface. Now to set up the unit, you are having three approach basically. So how to just get the unit for unit dialog box? So for that, you just have to click on this quick access toolbar or the AutoCAD icon, and you will see that there's a drawing utilities, and inside this drawing utilities you will see the third option as the unit. Just click on that and a unit dialog box will going to open. Then the next approach is to just click on this format tool, and over here also the fourth last option is the unit. Just click on that and you will get the same dialog box again. The third and the very quick approach is to just type unit in the command box. Command box, as I have told you, that it is a very important thing, and whatever command that you are going to type over here will going to be available without searching on to over here in the toolbars. So let's say that we want unit, so I'm going to type unit over here, and you can see that it will going to just show you that there's a unit list over here. Just click on that or just press the enter button. You can see that we are inside the units. Over here there is a decimal. Basically, if you want to work in then the default unit is but if you want to change to architectural, you can see that there is an architectural unit over here. And then we have the engineering. If you want to work in the feet and inches, then you can just switch on to the engineering over here. That will going to have the feet and inches. And we have the fractional, which is along the fractions. And then we have the scientific unit as well. The most useful, or the worldwide most useful, is the decimal for the and then we have the engineering for the architectural units. Over here you can just change the angle, how you want to provide the angle, what should be the unit. So the best one is to decimal degree. It will going to be in the degree, but you can change it to degree, minute, second. Yes, it is also one of the unit over here. Then we have the grad for the gradient values, and then we have the radians, and then we have the surveyor's unit. So these are the things that you can do with the units over here. Then you can see the precision. From here you can just change out the precisions, like after the point, after the decimal value, how much precision you want, you can just provide it over here. Same goes for the angle as well. Whatever the precision that you want, you can just select it. And this is the insertion scale. Basically it is for anything that you want to insert into the AutoCAD, what should be the preferred unit for that. So from here just click on that and you will see that there are a lot of basically units that is available. Let's just work with the decimal over here. I want to work with the decimal, so I'm going to click on the decimal, just make it okay, and we are now working in the decimal. If you want to work in the decimal, then you don't have to change the unit. It will already be the decimal if you're going to start the AutoCAD. Now let's just see how we can just create the line. So to create the line, you just have to click on over here in the draw toolbar. You will find that there is a line, or you can just simply type line in the command box. Just press enter and you can see that the line will going to available. Now to create a line, you just have to click, you basically it require the 2 points. The first is the starting and the next one is the end point. If you have these 2 points, you can easily able to create a line in between. So here also just click on the line and just click on anywhere, and that will be taken as the starting point. You can see that in the command box it is asking you to specify the first point. So I'm going to click on anywhere, and that will be taken as the starting point, and then it will going to ask you for the next point. So if I'm going to click on anywhere, that will be taken as the next point. But here the line is not over here. You can see that it will again going to start a new line, taking the end point of the first line as a starting point. So it's a chain. It will going to continuously create the line, and to come out from this you just have to press the escape button. Just press the escape button and you will going to be get out from that tool. So this is how you can just create a line. In the next lecture we are going to see how we can just create a line with a proper dimension. So in this lecture, we are going to see how we can just create a line with proper dimension. So in the previous lecture, we have seen about how to create a very random line. So for that, I have to just click on the line, and then I have to click on anywhere that will be taken as the first point, or you can say that the starting point. Click on anywhere and that will be taken as the second point, and so on. While clicking, you can see that it will going to create a line with any random dimension. Just press the escape button and you can see that you are going to get out from that tool. But every time random lines are not enough, you have to create a line with proper dimension. So for that, you just have to click on the line command over here, and then you just have to click on anywhere, and that will be taken as the starting point. Now let's say that you want to create a line in this direction with the diameter length as 100 mm. So just make your direction over here. Don't click any of the mouse button, just write 100 on the command box. You can see that on the command box it has written 100, and still you don't have to click anything. Just don't click your mouse, just press the enter button, and now you can see that it will going to create a line with 100 mm of length. So over here you can see that now the length is proper. This is 100 mm. Now let's say that we want to create a length of 50 mm. So I'm going to click on anywhere, and that will be taken as the starting point. Locate your mouse. Where do you want to create the line direction? So I want it again in this direction. So I'm going to place my mouse. I am clicking nothing. I'm not clicking any button of the mouse, and I'm going to press the 50 length over here. Write a 50 on the command box. Just press the enter then, and you can see that now it will going to create a line with length of 50. Let's say that I want to create a box, then I'm going to create a 50 over here, and then 50 over here, and then over here I'm going to join it to create a box. So this is how you can just create a line with a proper dimension, and both are important. If you want to create a, if you, there's a necessity of not a dimension, there's no necessity of dimension, you have to create a random line, then at that time you have to create it randomly. Otherwise, if you want it to be with a proper dimension, then you can just create it. Like let's say that we want to create a line between these points, the line like this, from this endpoint to this endpoint. So at that time we don't have the value of the dimension, which is going to be over here, but still we can able to create a line or a random line. Just click on the line, select this point, click on the line command, select this point, and then you have to click on this endpoint, and you can see that it will going to create the line in between these 2 points. So this is how you can just create the lines like this. But once you are creating a line, you can see that it will going to be very much difficult to create a straight line. Let's say that I want to create a perfectly vertical line. So we have to place my mouse such that it will going to be a perfect vertical, and then we have to write a value. Just press enter and you can see that this is how this line is created, but you can't be sure that it will be the vertical line or not. So basically it takes a lot of time, or even it will not be so much of precise to create a straight line. So for that there is one tool that is available in AutoCAD, and you can just say that this is a virtual scale that is provided to you, and that tool is known as Ortho mode. So you will find this tool inside the status bar, and in the status bar you will see that this is the tool that is being symbolized as 90-degree. Over here, this is the status bar tool. Whatever the status bar tool that is highlighted with blue color, it means that they are active, and that is not highlighted, it means that it is inactive. Click on the tool or click on the 90-degree tool or symbol over here. You can see that it will going to on the ortho mode. Click on the point and you can see that once I clicked on the line, it will going to create a straight line without basically converting it into an angular line. So what is the function of ortho mode? It will going to restrict the motion of cursor to the horizontal and vertical direction only. So now you can see that you can easily able to create 100 mm of line like this. So you can see that how easily I have created a box with all the lines straight. Similarly, if I want to create a box of 100 mm, so 150 over here, so I can just create as any of the straight line. So if you want to create a straight line, you have to on the ortho, and if you want to, if you are going to switch off the ortho, then it will going to create that angular lines. So this is how this ortho is works, and you can even on or off the ortho when you are inside the tool. So let's say that we are inside the line command, but still I am going to click on this ortho, and you can see that it will going to activate the ortho mode, and the line is not switched off. Many people what they do, they just escape from the tool and they just on the ortho and then they start the tool again. But that is not necessary. You can just switch on and switch off the ortho even if you are inside the tool. So this is all about this command. I'm going to catch up you in the next lecture. So in this lecture, we are going to see the important mouse handling in AutoCAD, and we are also going to see some of the important workspace accessories. So these are some of the handy tools that you should know before creating the designs in AutoCAD. So let's just get started. So over here, you can see that I am again inside the solid AutoCAD, and over here what I am going to do, I'm going to create a lines over here. In the previous lecture we have seen about how to create the lines as well as how to use the ortho mode, but here I'm going to use a very random lines. Now the first thing that we are going to see is to how to just zoom in and zoom out the screen. So over here the very easy thing is to just uh, scroll your mouse. So there's a scroll button on your mouse. Just scroll it and you can see that while scrolling you can see that it will be the zoom in and zoom out. But you can see that with the zoom it is the pan that is associated. It means that while zooming in and zooming out, the object is moving nearer and farther to the mouse button. You can see that over here it is moving in and out from the cursor. So that is known as the pan, and we have the pan option in the mouse as well. You for that you just have to click on the scroll button, click and hold the scroll button, and you can see that while moving the mouse, you can just move the object or the screen accordingly. So while click and hold the mouse, you can see that now the cursor has been changed to a hand-like structure, and it will going to work as a screen mover. Zoom in and accordingly fit your object along the screen. Now let's say that you have just zoom out the object to such an extent that it is not visible for you. So at that time it is very difficult to find out where the object is. So for that you can just use fit to the screen option. So for that you just have to write Z on the command box, just press enter. It is a zoom option that is available. Just write A, which is the all over here, and just enter. So you can see that now everything will going to fit inside your screen. So let me just revise it again. That is Z enter and A enter. And you can see that it will going to fit the screen. Now the next thing we are going to see is how to just select an object. To just select the object, you just have to click on the object that you want to select, and that will be highlighted with a blue color. It means that it will going to be selected. But if you want to just deselect the object, you have to just right click over that, or you can just press the control button and you can just click on that again while okay, so it's not a control, sorry, it's a shift. Just click on and hold the shift button of your keyboard and just click on that option again, and that will going to be deselected. Click on that, press and hold the scroll shift button, sorry, and then click on that object that you want to deselect, and that will going to be deselected. If you want to select multiple object at once, then you have to use the box type selection. This is a familiar thing that you usually do in the computer. But here in the computer, you have to click and hold the mouse button and then it will going to work. But here you just have to click once. You don't have to hold the mouse button. Drag it and there will be a box type selection. Whatever that will going to be inside the box will going to be selected. If you are going to click and hold the button of your mouse, then that will be the freestyle selection that is being selected according to the movement of mouse. But the box type selection is click and release the button, drag it, and inside that box it will going to select that thing. Now to delete anything, you just have to click on the object, press the delete button of your keyboard, and that's it. Very simple tool. You just have to click on the object, click on the delete button, and that will going to be deleted. The last thing is to just undo everything. If you have deleted by mistakenly you have deleted anything and you want it to be back, then just press the control and z combination, which is for the undo, control plus z, and that will going to make you one step back. This will going to work till the moment that you have saved. Let's say that you have saved your design, and then after saving it will not going to work uh, before the save. So make sure that it will only going to work till that you have not saved. Let's say that I have deleted this and I have just saved it, so now we can't able to make it back. But if we haven't saved it, we can just press the control z, and that will going to be back again. The same undo will going to be available over here. You can see that in the uh, upper toolbar. You can see that this is a undo and this is a redo, which will going to repeat the step that you have done. So this is all about the important mouse handling, and these are the things that you should know before starting the work in the AutoCAD. Hello and welcome to this lecture. So in this lecture we are going to see what are the mistakes that beginners makes when they are in the beginning stages of their AutoCAD course. So what happens? For that I'm going to start my AutoCAD, and over here you can see that I'm going to delete whatever I have created so far. And now let's say that this is the interface, and here I'm going to want, basically here I want to make 100 mm of line. So what happens that sometimes when you are going to start the AutoCAD, your screen is not particularly adjusted. And what happens, let's say that I have just zoomed out my object and the screen is still looking very normal. But if you try to create 100 mm of line, let's say that I have picked this 00. For picking out the 00 point, just write 0 comma 0, and that will be taken as a 00 over here. And now just switch on the ortho, and I want to create a straight line 100 mm like this. So I'm going to write 100 and I'm going to press the enter button, but still you can find that the line is not created. So if you are a beginner, you can find that that line is not created. It means that you are doing something wrong, but it's not like that. You have created 100 mm of line, but the screen is not adjusted, so it is not basically visible to you. To make the screen adjustment, once you have created the line, but if you are not still not showing, still you can't find out the line, it means that your screen is not set up. So what you have to do, you just have to come out from the tool, and we have discussed about the fit screen option. Just write z, enter, and a enter, and you can see that now it will going to make it visible, like how it will going to adjust the screen such that it will now going to whatever the line that you are going to create, it will be now going to be visible. Let's say I want to create a 0 comma 0 line again. From here I have taken 0 0, and now you can see that if I'm going to create 100 mm of line, it will going to create it. So this is one mistake that people usually do. They think that the line is not created because our screen is being zoomed out to such an extent, but it's still the line is created. So for that you just have to press the z enter and a enter, and that's it. Now the next is the over zooming of the screen. So let's say that we have taken, I'm going to delete this, and now what is happening, the screen is zoomed to such an extent, like if I'm going to create 100 mm of line, then it will going to surpass the screen. You can see that it will going to not fit, it will not going to be fit inside the screen. And sometimes what happens that it will not going to zoom out as well. So at that time just press the escape button and just again write z enter, a enter, and now it will going to fit your screen. So when you are going to start your design, make sure that your design is basically your screen is fit. For that you just have to create a line first, and then you have to find out is that your line, if is your screen is fit to that scale or not. If it is not fit, just press the z enter and a enter, then it will going to fix. So till now we have seen about the line command as well as the auto command. Now in this lecture we are going to see a very simple exercise that you should try if you want to clear the line command. So what exercise that we are going to follow? We are going to see this exercise over here. This is basically an I section that contains some of the dimensions, and we are going to create it in AutoCAD using the lines. So over here you can see that. Let's just see for the dimension first. So completely it is having the height of 100 as well as the width of 100. So totally it's of 100 and 100. And then there will be the 20 thickness of one of the line, and then you have to create like this. And it is a basically symmetrical object, and you have to calculate some of the distance over here. Like over here you can see that this will be, I think, 60, because the total is 100, so it will be 20, 20 minus, so whatever the left is 60 over here, and this is 20, so over here the left is 40, 80, so this part is 40 and this part is 40. So we have calculate the every dimensions. Now let's just see how to create it in the AutoCAD. So for that I'm going to start my AutoCAD, and over here uh, let's just start the auto mode again. So we have the auto mode on. Click on the line command, and let's say that I want to start it from this XY. So I'm going to write 0, 0 as my initial coordinate over here. So I have selected 0, 0 as the initial coordinate. Just press enter, and you can see that a line will going to start from that point. And let's say that I want to create it in this direction as 100. So I'm going to put my mouse direction over here, just write 100, and you can see that it will going to create its first base, which is 100. Now talking about this thickness over here, this is basically 20. So I'm going to make 20 on the top, and then we have calculated that this distance will be 40. So I'm going to write 40 over here, and we have calculated that this distance will be 60, 20, 20 minus, and then we have the 60 over here. So I'm going to write 60. Similarly, it's a symmetrical object, so here also it will be 40, and on the top it will be 20, and over here it will going to be again 100. So it's a very continuous kind of exercise. Just make it 20 over here, just make it 40, and similarly downward, since it's symmetry, so I'm going for the 60 over here, 40, and to join it we are going to join it like this. So this is how you can just create a I section. Very easy exercise for you to practice, and you can even create more shapes. Like if you want to create the E section, you can just go for the line. Let's just create it for the 100, 100 only. So I'm going to write 100 over here, and then we have in this direction we have 100, and if I'm going to make it 20 in the downward, so 20, and over here let's just make this thickness as 100. Sorry, 20. So over here we are going to make it 80, and then we want it to 20, then again 80, then 20, and then 80 over here again. Similarly 20 in the downward again, over here 80 again. Just go down to make it 20 and just complete this figure. Similarly you can just try F section, and you can have same dimensions over here, 100 and 100, and you can try over here you can just change it to thickness 20. Similarly you can just try more complicated sections like X section and H section. If you are going to feel any kind of doubt, then you can just ask me on the comment section. I can make the separate video if you are going to if there will be more comments on this, or if it is easy to tell you the answer or solve the doubt in the comment box, then I will definitely going to try it. Make sure that you must comment whatever the doubts would be, and please like this video, and please do subscribe this channel as well for more updates like this. So make sure that you have pressed the like button and you have pressed the subscribe button. Ask me any doubt if you have in the comment box. Now let's just see another shape in AutoCAD, and that is a circle. So basically, to create a circle, you require two things. You require a center point, and that will be taken as the starting point of the circle, and then you require the radius value or the diameter value. If we have these two things, you can easily able to create a circle accordingly. But in AutoCAD, you will see that there are many approaches of circle. So to get the circle, you have to go in the drawing toolbar, and over here there's a circle tool. Just click on the arrow that is provided over here, and you can see that there is a list of all the types of circle that is available. So it means that there will be different situation on which you are going to use different types of circle over here, and we are going to discuss all the types over here. So the first one is the very easy one, which is the center point and the radius point. So as the name suggests, it will ask you for the center first, and then it will ask you for the radius value. Click on this circle, and then it will going to ask you to specify the center point. I'm going to randomly click anywhere, and that will be taken as a center point. And then you can see that it will going to ask you for the radius value. Provide the radius as 20, and you can see that now this is of the radius 20. Similarly, if you want to create a circle at the end point of any line, then just click on the circle, select the end point, and that will be taken as the center point for the circle. And then again, you just have to specify the radius value, make it as whatever value that you want, and accordingly, it will going to create the circle. Now, let's just provide you one situation over here. Let's just provide you another situation, basically one situation. Over here you can see that there are 2 points, and I want to create a circle that will going to have the center point as the end point of this line, and then I am to create a circle that will going to pass through the end point of this another line. It means that there should be one radius relation between these two separations, but we don't know what is the length of this center. So if I'm going for the center radius circle, then I can just provide this as a center, but what will be the radius value? I can't find out, or I can't figure out the exact radius value. But at that time, we can use one thing. We can just create the circle with any random radius or diameter values. So for that, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to write any value over here. Just click on the point, and that point will be taken as the end point of the circle. And you can see that it will going to end circle at that point, and it will going to randomly create the desired radius. So this is how you can just randomly create a circle without knowing the radius value. It should be aligned to any of the points, and it will going to create it accordingly. Like over here, this will be the starting center point, and this will be the end point. Similarly, this will be the center, and then it will be the end point. Now the next kind of circle is a center and diameter. So as the name suggests, instead of the radius, it will going to ask you for the diameter value. Click on anywhere, and that will be taken as a starting point, and then provide the value, and that will be taken as the diameter value. The next is 2-point circle. So this is one of the type of circle where you require two circumferential point. So here you don't require the center value. Let's say that there is one situation again, there is a two line, and now you want to create a circle that will going to pass both the endpoints of this line. So at that time, you can't able to create the center point circle, which is a center radius. It means because you don't know the exact radius value. So how to create this? So for that, you just go for this 2-point circle. Just click on that. Click on that one endpoint, and that will be taken as the one circumferential point. Click on anywhere, and that will be taken as the another circumferential point. It will going to adjust the center accordingly, and it will going to create a circle that will going to have the diameter as the two circumferential points. And then we have similarly we have the 3-point circle, which is for the 3-point. So let's say that we have 3 points over here, and just click on this 3-point, click on this as a first point, this is the second, and this as the third. So this is the 3-point circle. Then we have the circle that is being tangent, tangent, and radius. If you don't know about the tangent, tangent is a line that will going to pass the circle by just touching one circumferential point. So it will going to cross the circle just by touching at a single circumferential point. Now here you can see that by the name it will going to ask you for the two tangent values and then the radius value. Let's say that there is one line like this. There is a L-shaped line. And now it will going to, you have to create a circle like this. You have to create it like over here, like this will going to be tangent with both the lines, and there will be some radius value. So at that time you can just create a circle using this tan radius. Click on this option and you will see that there is a tan radius. Click on that, and then it will going to ask you for the first tangent of the circle. So click on this one. This will be taken as the first tangent, this will be taken as the another tangent, and then it will going to ask you for the radius value. Just provide the desired radius value, and accordingly you can see that it will going to create that radius or this circle. Then the last option over here is the tan. So here you don't have to provide the radius value. It will automatically going to take three lines or three object to the tangent. Click on that and it will going to create one tangent, two tangent, third tangent, and it will going to create the circle accordingly. Here tangent does not mean that it should be on the line. You can have any curve as a tangent. So here you can see that there is three circle, and I can just go for the three tangent over here. Click on this circle, and this circle, and you can see that the circle will going to be created with all the three circle as a tangent. So any curve can be taken as a tangent. It's not like it is limited to the line only. So this is all about the circle command in AutoCAD, and I'm going to see you in the next one. In this lecture, we are going to see our first editing tool in AutoCAD, and that is known as the trim command. So trim is a very popular command, and if you are going to create any of the complex or basic feature in AutoCAD, then it's definitely that you are going to use the trim for that. It means that it is one of the most widely used tool in AutoCAD. And what is this trim? As the name suggests, it will going to trim out a certain portion in AutoCAD. So let's say that there is one line and you don't want to delete this whole line, you want to cut it out with a certain portion. Let's say that this is 100 mm of line and you want to cut it at a 80 mm. So at that time, instead of deleting it, you are going to use the trim option. So trim option, what it will going to do, it will going to trim out the certain portion. So there's one condition of the trim as well. If you're working with the trim, then you should know that the trim will only going to work till the intersection. So if you want to trim this line, then it will not going to trim out suddenly like this. You have to be some line or some object. Any object will going, if it will going to intersect, then only it will going to cut. So it is must that it will going to intersect it. This is one criteria for the trim. Uh, let's just see about this trim in detail in AutoCAD. So over here you can see that we have some figures over here that we are going to see later on. But over here you can see that if I'm going to create this line, and where do we find this trim? You will find this inside this modification section, and you will see that in the new AutoCAD it will look like a scissor option. Click on that and you can see that it will going to start the trim, and once you clicked on the trim you have to press the enter button. So there is a way to use the trim. You just have to click on the trim and then you have to press the enter button or the space bar button as well. So you have to do both. You have to press the trim option and then you have to press the enter or the space bar, and then you are going to land up into this section, and now the trim will going to work. You can see that if I'm going to hover around any of the line, it will going to be shown up as the cross. It means that it is getting trimmed. But since this line is not intersecting any of the lines, so if I'm going to hover around this, it will not going to intersect. It will not going to trim because there will be no intersection. So you have to create an intersection and then only just go for the trim. Just select the spacebar and then only it will going to work. Click on the line that you want to intersect and that will going to be trimmed out. Now you can see that these two are not intersecting. They are just getting a sharp turn. So that's why it is not trimming out anything. But it's not a very big matter. If it is not getting trimmed, you can just click on or select that thing and you can just delete the button, or you can just press the delete to delete it. So if the trim is not working, if it is not intersecting, sometimes this condition arises that trim is not working. So at that time you can use the delete button. Since anywhere it is not intersecting, that's why it is not working. But in the placement of that you can use the delete, but trim is yet again a very important thing. Let's say that we have one circle and I want to trim out this circle. So let's say that there is a line that is crossing from the center like this. Click on the trim, just select the space again, click on these points, and you can see that these are now being trimmed. So this easily how you can just use a trim. Again, just create a circle like this, just click on the trim, just select the space bar or enter, and you can just trim out these parts like this. So trim, again a very important thing, because not only basic shapes are not enough to create all the design. You have to edit the basic shapes, and you can see that we can easily do with the help of trim. So in this lecture, we are going to follow one exercise, and this time we are going to use whatever we have learned so far. So here we are going to use the circle command, here we are going to use the ortho mode, the line command, the trim command and all. So whatever we have learned so far, we are going to implement it in this exercise. So what exercise that I'm going to follow? I'm going to follow this exercise over here. I'm going to draw the downward portion, which is this view over here. Basically, this whole is in the two view. So I'm going to create this below one, and I'm going to let you try the above one. You have to try it by yourself, and if you find any kind of doubt, you can just simply ask me on the comment section. And if if you have any doubt in the previous whole lectures that we have seen, you can just ask me. And if you don't have any doubt, then you can just comment us that how you feel after this course and what you have gained after this course. And make sure that you have liked this video, and make sure that you have subscribed this channel for more updates like that. So let's just create it. So to create it, we have to see it first. If you want to create any of the model, then you have to study the model first, like what should be my approach to just create it. So here you can see that the dimension are not properly written, but here you can see that this is the separation between these two, which is this part and this part, is 100. And now in the 100 we have this block over here, and here we have this option. So at one end of the 100, we have to take that as a center, and we are going to create this part, and then we are going to create this, and we are going to join it by the line command. So let's just see. So for that, I'm going to start my AutoCAD, and over here I'm going to select 0 0 as my starting point. From here I'm going to create a line of 100, and you can see that now this line can be act as a reference. And over here at the end point of this line, I'm going to create basically this part, which is from the center we have these two circles, which is the outer is diameter of 12, the inner one, and the outer one will be the radius of 12. That's because this whole length is 24, and that's it will be 20, it will be 12. So I'm going to use let's just go for this point here. The height is 24, so firstly we have to reach till the height of 24, so I'm going to write 24, and we have reached to this point. And now in this point we have two circles. The one will be having the diameter as 12, so this will be having the diameter as 12, and then we have the another one which will be having the radius of 12. So here we are going to write radius of 12. Then there will be the line from this part like this, and then there will be line from this part like this, and then these two are joined together like this. And now we are going to trim out this portion. Just click on the trim, just click on the enter or space bar, trim out this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So you have to trim out this whole thing, and we have got that shape. Now over here in this endpoint, you can see that from here we have 50 as diameter. It means that 25 from here and 25 here. It is written diameter, that's because it is circular in nature, but here we have to create a linear value of 50. So we are going to create a 25 over here, and then we are going for the height of 50. It is showing, so we are going to get the height of 25, and then here will be 50, and then in the downward we have the 50. Just make this one as 50 and just create this block like this. So you can see that we have created this. It is not from the middle, I think. Yes, it is at a basically from this part we have the height of 20, so here it's given 20. So firstly we have to just let's just delete everything over here, and we have to create a 10 mm of line like this, and from that we are going to create the height of 20 like this. So from this point we are going to create a height of 20, and this is again 25, this is again 50, this is over here 50, this is 50, and we have to just join it like this. Delete this line, and we have got this length. And now we have to just trim out the rest portion that is over here. We have to trim out this sections. It is not getting trimmed, that here we have to delete this. Just go for the trim again, trim out this section, trim out this section, delete this, and this is how it will going to be created. Just switch off the ortho, and we have created this line like this. Just delete this, this is not required over here right now. So you can see that we have got a basic shape ready, and this is all about how you can create different exercises in AutoCAD. And in the next series of lectures we are going to see how we can just create the dimensions and all. So make sure that you subscribe this channel for the updates. So in this lecture, we are going to see how we can work with the feet and inches. So here, feet and inches is a very important unit for the architectural as well as civil designs. But exceptions are always there. It is used in all the conditions. Like if you are creating a very big layout or very big design, then their feet and inches works. So how to just use a feet and inches? So for that, I'm going to start my AutoCAD, and you can see that I am inside my 2D screen, and over here how to just change the unit we have seen about in the beginning lectures. So for that you just have to write there is other methods that we have seen, but I'm going to write units over here and I'm going to press enter. And over here, instead of the decimal, I am going for the engineering units. Yes, in the engineering unit, you will find that we are going to work in the feet and inches. You don't have to change anything, since in the angle, it generally takes the degrees. Usually people take degrees over here. But if you want, if you can change the angle over here, but we are going for the decimal only, but we are going to change the length value as the engineering. Now once we have changed the engineering, you can see that over here, if I'm going to make it okay, now we can able to work in the feet and inches. And it's not simple that you have just changed the unit and it started working on the feet and inches. You have to make sure some of the things over here. But before going for that, we have I'm going to tell you one thing, that if you know about that feet and inches can be written by the single comma and double comma. Let's say that you want to write 5 feet 6 inches, then you can write it as 5 single comma, and you can just write it as 5 double comma over here. So this can be this can be named as a 5 feet 6 inches. It means that 6 inches can be represented by double comma, and feet can be represented by a single comma. Make sure that you remember this, because we are going to use it in the AutoCAD. So let's say that I want to create a line. So I'm going to click on the line, and then for the starting point, again, I can go for the 0, 0 coordinate. But this time let's say that I want to create a line of 10 feet. So I'm not going to write 10 and just press the enter. We have to write 10 and single comma. It means that we have to write that comma to make it indicate that yes, we are working, we want it to be in the feet. Just write 10 single comma, just press enter, and now this line is of 10 feet, not 10 mm. If you are going to write 10 and just press enter, you can see that it will going to create a 10 mm of line again. It is not a 10 feet of line. It basically, it not, you can't say that it's a mm. It can be of something else, but it will not be of 10 feet. So make sure that if you have changed the unit, you have to work, we have to mention the single comma and double comma. Let's say that I want to make a line of 5 feet 6 inches. So I'm going to write 5 single comma and 6 double comma. Just make it enter. And now this line is of completely 5 feet 6 inches. Similarly, if you want to create a circle with radius 10 feet, or you can say that 5 feet. So I'm going to click on the circle, click on anywhere, and you can see that it will going to start taking that as a center. And over here you can see that now it is indicating in some other unit. You can see that it is 1 feet 0.000 inches. So let's say that you want to create it as a 6 feet 5 inches. So I can write 6 single comma 5 double comma, press enter, and this will be of 6 feet 5 inches of radius. Rest is all the same. Whatever tool that we have seen, it will going to work as same as we have seen. But instead of writing a simple value, you have to just mention it with commas. That is the only difference if you are going to work in the feet and inches. So with that, we conclude this whole series, and make sure that you go through all the lectures to get a complete idea of how AutoCAD works. And make sure that you subscribe this channel, so that if we are going to further if to get more updates of the videos like this, and further we are also going to create some more series like this, like how to just add up the dimensions and all that we are going to cover up. So make sure that you have subscribed this. If you have liked this whole series, make sure that you like the video, and if you have any doubt, then please tell me in the comment box. I will always try to help you in clearing out your doubt. Thank you, and catch up you in the next video.